gives it a more robust feeling. So I've given this a lot of thought, and I came up with a definition which combines some of these things, but takes it to a whole new level. It's about generating and sustaining momentum. So making something happen. To pursue a vision and purpose, achieve goals, create opportunities. And not just opportunities for you, and not just opportunities for people who might work for you, but opportunities for your customers, opportunities in the community. Develop and pursue new arenas of achievement. Well, in that, I mean, if you have a business and you're an entrepreneur, you're in the business of creating something that never existed before. That's how you add value. That's the unique element that you bring, your value proposition, if you will. By consistently demonstrating your values, your inner magnificence, if you will, whatever those values might be, taking proactive responsibility, and engaging and inspiring others. So it's a combination of these things. And if you think about people who are really successful and you really admire, and you take that definition and you get to apply it to what they've done, you'll find that it really fits. And if you take that definition and apply it to yourselves, you may find gaps, you may find it fits well, you may find there's areas where you need to work on, but it's a way of looking at it in a far more robust way. The values part, in my opinion, is really the thing that makes one of the biggest differences, because that's the difference between a Mother Teresa and a Hitler. They both mobilized and galvanized people, but one worked for good and one worked for ill. So there's 4 key questions that help you get to the heart of this. The first is, what's your inner and business magnificence? And to answer that question for yourself. What's your enlightened self-interest? What do I mean by enlightened self-interest?
You help someone, but you do it because you also get a benefit out of it yourself.
Exactly. You do it with, you help somebody else with the expectation that at some future time you'll get some benefit from it. But that's not really your primary immediate driver. And it may be cumulatively. You take somebody who volunteers at a food bank. Their enlightened self-interest is in the form of some sense of self-satisfaction, of fulfillment. A feeling like they're really doing something for a greater good. Well, the businesses do the same thing. I did a lot of work with auto manufacturers way back when. And I'll tell you an interesting thing about auto manufacturers. Is back in those days, and that goes about 15 years ago, the probability of buying a new car from the same dealership goes down if you have your post-warranty work done at that dealership.
Really?
Now, interesting. What happens is that while your car's under warranty, you take it in, your bills are low. Not too much is going wrong. After it's 3 or 4 years old and the warranty is over, your bills go up. But there's something else that goes on. The person who is your service advisor, as they call it these days, is incented in most dealerships on sales. So when you go in and you talk to them about, well, I have this sound and I have that sound, they're looking for more things to go wrong, because that way they can make your bill higher and they make more money. It's an example of misaligned objectives. So when you think about their enlightened self-interest, they're not really interested in your self-interest. They're interested only in their own. And that's one of the keys in being successful in business and having the trust of your customers. Is people understanding that you've sort of subordinated your self-interest for their self-interest, with the idea that there are intangible things that come out of it for you that you can't put a price on. And people understand that. And what's your true value proposition? What are the real things that you are bringing to your customers that give them value. And I don't just mean in the way of goods and services. And the feeling of trust, reliability, confidence in you. Feeling like that when something goes wrong, and things go wrong, that it's going to be taken care of, and you're going to do the right thing. That's all a part of that value proposition, one of the things that builds loyalty. We know statistically that it takes 5 times as much work and money to get a new customer as it does to retain an existing customer. So when you go to have an issue with a company, maybe it's a car dealership, maybe it's technical assistance on a computer, and the issue comes down to $25. Question is, what's the value of that customer? Is that customer only worth $25? But in that moment, in that transaction, that's how it's being treated. And so when you think entrepreneurially about building those customer base and make them feel good about you, the question is what's the lifetime value of that customer, or the reasonable expectation of having that customer? The lifetime value of an automobile customer 15 years ago was $350,000.
That's how many cars they'd buy over a lifetime?
When you add the cars, the service,
Okay.
all those kinds of things, someone buys a new car from them at age 25,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep that customer all those years, what's it worth?